Hi, welcome back to Blaze Haxman's reaction channel. And today we're doing part 2 of UFC, The Brawl in Buffalo. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so basically we got up to here where Marco Ruas, King of the Streets, won pretty quickly. And I think they're going to do a breakdown. I looked ahead, they're going to do a breakdown of the following divisions.
The King of the Streets, Marco Ruas.
So that's where we left off.
Larry Curtin, let's hear it for him.
Marco Ruas is into the semifinals.
Yes.
He had to work for it.
Not surprised.
Here's a look at what has unfolded thus far. Paul Varelans with a tap out, advancing when Harris tapped out at a minute.
polar
7.
bear.
Elbows were the key in that bout.
Yep.
Mark Hall, a minute 42, a tap out by Harold Howard.
Yeah, I could do all this. Then we had Remco Pardol, who had a pretty sort of tough but brief one with Ryan Parker, but he was no match Ryan Parker. He spent most of his time on the bottom. And then Marco Ruas just then, destroying Larry Curtin. So we're going to go forward a bit here. So we go to the next bracket.
To my left, a black belt in the art of trap fighting. 25 years old, 6 feet 8, 300 pounds, living
25, 6'8", 300 pounds. Look at that face. Imagine you walk into a bar and you see that face. It's going to squash your head.
and fighting out of Sunnyvale, California, a native of Fairbanks, Alaska. Once again, the polar bear, Paul Varelans. And his opponent across the octagon, a third-degree black belt in the art of Muay Do, a black belt in Taekwondo, a black belt in American Karate, an amateur kickboxing record of 5-0, 3 KOs, 34 years old, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, from Murrieta, California, he is...
Like, I can't remember this one. I said in the last one that you kind of remember the winning side of the bracket. There's always the famous guys like Marco Ruas and Paul Varelans. So I got my money on Varelans. I don't remember the result. This guy certainly can bang, but I think, because from memory, with Varelans, he's so big. Once he gets on top of you, you're screwed. But the only guys who were really able to beat him were fast. You know, that they were striking and moving all the time because he was a lot slower than people. But once he got you, you were dead. And I think that is what's about to happen.
Mark Hall!
Oh my God, what was that? Was that a freaking Nazi salute? I don't know what that was about. Oh yeah, it was very sketchy.
It's a classic case
Go
of
Varelans in
David
that case.
versus Goliath. 110-pound difference in weight. Here's a look at the tail of the tape.
Trap fighting, big age difference here, and that might work in Varelans' advantage, but the height...
Yeah, so you can see Varelans 10 years younger, 8 inches taller, and weighs 110 pounds more.
And the weight belonged to Varelans.
Semifinal action about to commence in UFC 7.
Are you ready?
Here we go.
Let's get it on!
Let's see if
Varelans across.
Oh, see, this guy just whacked him.
And he
He's fast.
eats the right hand from Hall.
this is where Hall wants him, in tight.
Uppercuts. Knee to the body from Hall.
Varelans brings him down.
Does a pretty shit takedown,
That's a
but
straight headlock, no arm in
This is
there,
like a-
and that's very, very tight. He could literally pull the head off here if he can get the right
look at
kind of
old school
leverage.
headlock.
Get that big body all the way out to the side and stay perpendicular.
It's a bad place to be.
This is not where Hall wants to be. This is about the worst position to start from for Hall's style of fighting.
That's just a schoolyard bully headlock he's got there.
And land some punches.
Well, the arm's now in the...
Like you see with Varelans, see his left hip here, or right hip I should say. You want to move that back onto this guy's hip. You want to be hip to hip. Any space there, it's better for this guy, but he's just dealing with a lot of weight. So he's muscling it a lot with the arms, but it's not like a higher level judoka pin.
block. That'll take some of the pressure off of the neck.
Now he's gone to full mount.
Rollins continuing to move for better position.
Varlins here should just kind of relax.
Watch the elbow. That's his.
Elbow
that's
to the
his
crown of the head.
punctuation mark. If he can get it free.
Americana.
That's it.
Tap.
Great key lock.
I think
Perfect wrestling hold there. Key lock, able to torque the elbow and shoulder. Paul had it submit.
Bit of camaraderie there. But
Well, you know, Bruce, when you say they have to tap out, there's no question.
see Varlins here, right? A judoka is trying to turn their hips and bring this guy onto the top of their hip. But it looks like Varlins,
And that's exactly the position they're in.
he just really, I mean, he planted his foot on the cage, but it was all just brute force, not much technique.
If they don't tap out, there's going to be some type of damage done to a ligament, a tendon, or maybe even a break of the bone. It's not a matter of this guy's a quitter or he can't take it. A position like that.
He's trying to do this, upper Americana here.
His arm is
And the guy's like, nah, that was an early tap too. He just knew it was never going to get out of it.
about to break, and there's no choice for a fighter.
Oh, the polar bear is celebrating.
Yeah.
Grizzly and fired up.
Now here's an interesting one. We're going to have Remco Pardue versus Marco Ruas.
Boxing champion and reigning Brazilian Vale Tudo champion. Undefeated in bare knuckle matches once again from Rio de Janeiro, the king of the streets, Marco Ruas.
I would not fuck with this guy, ever.
Well,
Yeah, what's the
there's no
difference?
doubt that Pardue is
We still don't know Ruas' age. 6'1" versus 6'4".
younger by how many years we don't know. 3-inch height advantage to Remco.
Pardoe's
He's also
bigger.
got the 55 pounds. What do you guys expect? Quickly,
From
Jeff.
Us,
I think
Netherlands.
Uas in a submission lock.
Don?
I'd have to go with Pardue. I mean, he's got the experience as far as the jiu-jitsu and the judo, and I think he can handle himself on the ground.
I like it. A split broadcast crew. John McCarthy getting...
I'll tell you how I'm going to call this. I reckon it's going to be Ruas by strikes. So I don't know if that's some deep recess of my mind. There's a memory there. But I think he's just going to keep distance and keep punching Pardue in the face. That's how I feel about this. And then once Pardue doesn't seem to like getting hit, he's always closing the distance. I've never seen him really, hit or strike. So it would be really out of his wheelhouse to be go up against a high-level striker. And I think Ruas he can do everything.
Set to get the fighters rolling.
One observation, I saw Uas grab a look at his right hand repeatedly after that first fight.
Pardue wears the gi.
King of the
The winner
streets.
takes on Varlins.
Pete Pardue's looking for
Pardue
those
says
grips,
he's
looking for something.
experienced in taekwondo,
Inside
but I
leg
haven't
kick.
seen a kick yet.
Nice.
A long staring down process, a feeling out thing. You see it boxing
Another
along.
inside leg. He's trying to chop those legs down. Outside leg kick.
Kicks delivered by Hua.
Yeah, he's just sniping. Okay, bit of a reply and a hand slap from Pardue.
Remco grabs his head.
He's got his hand in there. There's no way that's going to be a chokehold. He's got his fingers underneath it. I don't think he's got the leverage. to
Okay, so he's got a
really-
headlock.
No, he doesn't quite have his arm under there.
Hua's
But
biting
that's
his
what he's
tongue.
going for. He's definitely got the leg hooked up.
This is one of my favorite standing guillotines is from there. So if you get a guy, get your hand under their neck, and then you grab your wrist if you get the space, and you basically do this and extend over the top, it's like, and make it parallel with their spine, you can get a tap from standing, but I think Marco Ruas is too smart for that.
Under, so he could just arch and tighten it up.
Yeah, he's given up on it. Now he's grabbing the cage. He's trying to create a trip with that outside
Seems pretty calm
leg
there.
wrap.
Pardue isn't very far away, though, from making that a guillotine. He's got the arm across underneath the chin, but really not going deep. It's not very
Yeah, he's
deep.
defending with that arm. As long as you got the hand in,
Hua's backed up against the chain link fence.
It's more
got a hold of his
wrist,
belt.
The end of his hand is underneath the chin.
if you look there with Ruas's left hand, he's got a hold of Pardue's belt. So I would say he spent some time in the gi. Actually, I'm sure I've seen older footage of Marco Ruas in the gi, but I've never really seen him fight in the gi. I've just ever seen these old fights. But if you're grabbing the gi like that, you kind of know. You've been around the scene and you know what gi fighting is, and you know what kind of grip there is to grab there to stop people from advancing.
If he gets the arm under, it could be a different
Grabbing the
story.
belt, I should say.
Is Ruas being patient here, Jeff, or is he in trouble?
I reckon he's being
Ruas is
patient.
He's waiting to see what Pardue will try and attempt, but I think Pardue is also playing that same game. He doesn't want to give up that lock. He's very close to making it a good choke. So he's kind of in there, kind of waiting to see what Ruas does. So it's sort of
Pardue's looking for the headlock.
Obviously, the advantage.
Sorry,
right
the
now is
guillotine.
Pardue.
This is two experienced grapplers here. Neither one wants to give too much. They don't want to make a mistake at this level right here.
I guarantee you, Ruas knows that fence is there, and that's why he's leaning against it. That's what's holding him up. Otherwise, he'd fall right down.
So Pardue's bringing his hips in and trying to create some elevation and put some pressure on the neck with the blade of the neck, probably blade of the wrist on Ruas. But Ruas is the other thing. Both these guys have to kind of adjust their game, because in the gym, you're not really, unless you're training the cage all the time, you don't have the cage to grab onto. So you're just dealing with walls, or you're out in open space and dealing with this, and then you have to adjust. You think, why can't I get this guy down? Oh, he's grabbing the cage.
Now that pressure will go to his head.
Ruas using his right leg to lock the left leg of Pardue. Now Pardue breaks away. Pardue still working on the neck of Marco Ruas.
Pardue's left arm here might start to really fatigue with that kind of a lock and straining to bring it up and arching your back. That arm could eventually slowly fatigue.
I reckon Pardue's not letting go of this because he's scared of what could happen if he lets this man punch him in the face. And your grips do get tired holding on for this long.
What happens if Ruas stomped the big toe of Pardue? Honest to God, what would that do?
I tell you, these guys are conditioned mentally to take pain. I mean, I'm not really sure. I've been surprised at the punishment these guys have taken as it is.
3 minutes in.
It's worth a try, though. I think if I was in that position, I might try it.
But certainly
He's trying to elevate him.
limit the mobility you have after you.
Ruas is remaining patient. He's not panicking.
Well, we've seen ground grappling before. We've seen fighters engaged in a tussle for a long time on the
He
mat,
will not let go of this
not
neck.
standing up like this.
He's just waiting.
Crowd is anticipating action. They're restless.
Look at Ruas. He's so
They
relaxed.
seem a little bit restless, but right here, this is a
That's not a panicking face. He's just being patient.
He really does have a threat going.
He's waiting for a moment.
Ruas doing an excellent
He's
job
probably
of blocking
waiting for his
it,
grips
but
to get tired.
It's really fairly close to sinking in there.
Yeah, so see that grip on the belt with the left hand, which I pointed out before, this is what kind of is neutralizing this position, because anytime that Pardue elevates his hips, what Ruas can do is kind of use it to stall, to shift his weight around, to post on, so that he's always relieving pressure. So as long as he's got this grip, he's good.
And that's why Pardue isn't letting it go.
Right, trip, try to create a trip.
That could be trouble.
Yeah, it's really
Pardue's trying to elevate again.
As a matter of fact, if he was to arch, really, if he had a good grip and he arched right now, I think...
Pardue trying to get the choke on Marco Ruas.
Ruas is trying to create inside trips, just trying to get him off guard, you
Ruas
know.
is not panicking.
Because Ruas wants to go to the outside of hips if he can trip him.
Of the martial arts right
He doesn't want to go into the guard.
Little things.
It's always the little things.
Oh, and one of the reasons it's not tight is Pardue's right arm is around Ruas's left arm, which means the arms in that lock, they can't be that tight. It can't be that tight. He's got to be around that
Crowd doesn't
arm.
like it. They're getting bored.
That's exactly it. It's not going to be a tight
Unless
choke.
McCarthy separates them.
We saw it on the monitor, and I just saw it when they briefly turned towards me, but that was blocked from our view initially. That is why that guillotine choke is not working.
You know what?
It's not a full guillotine
Foot stomp.
choke yet.
From being a striker, yes. I was just going to say,
Replies with a knee to the thigh.
Into the thighs, because the thighs are very vulnerable.
And that's what Remco Pardue is
I honestly
doing
think
right now.
Ruas can do this all day.
It's about all he's got to strike.
Oh, there's the stop top.
There's the
There's
heel.
that toe stop.
I don't know how he did it.
Oh, now he's doing it. This is how he's going to do it. King of the streets.
Knee put back by Pardue. Referee John McCarthy once again telling the guys to work.
I say, why
Inside
not?
trip now.
This is anything goes.
They're working. I'd hate to see this broken up.
There he is, another foot stomp. 2, 3, 4 foot stomps. King of the streets.
And that time he missed.
Well, I guarantee you one thing.
This just became a thing after. It must have been this match that made it a thing.
You would think something like that is insignificant in a fight, but it does add up. This is going to be an attrition battle.
Definitely.
There we go.
There goes both
I think
fighters.
who else is trying to sweep him there, right?
Marco still's got a hold in there.
I don't know who instigated that. It might have been Marco.
If he curls into a ball, I think he might be able to even get out
This
of
could be a neck crank now. He's trying to get up, create space. And there you go, rolls him. Out of the guard. See, this guy knows his gi jiu-jitsu, right? Because he's basically going to pass around here. He's going to come around here, the outside, and you see this grip here? This is what tells you he knows his gi jiu-jitsu, because he's reaching to the far lapel. And he's going to elevate this leg and then send everything of Pardu's this way. We'll see what Pardu does in reply.
He is out. Let's see who else here.
So now it's Marco Ruas's battle.
Now they've got to think.
Looking into the eyes of
You know,
Pardu.
it's a game of chess out there right
I think
now.
Uas now is going to make sure that his pressure stabilizes.
Thought he would have gone the other way.
Totally clear-headed and focused.
He's got to throw this leg over. But
But
this butterfly here is
So
instead
now
of
it is Ruas
stopping
who is
him
the
from
hunter,
doing too
not
much.
the hunted. 6:30 in. The winner takes on Paul Varland in the final of UFC 7. John McCarthy telling the fighters to work. I think they expended a lot of energy standing up.
One advantage for Uas is he can grab the gi of Pardo to keep him from punching. And that's what he's doing to Pardo's right hand.
Ruas
He's got the gi.
talking non-stop.
He's got the gi. He's going to slowly work
He's
his way
talking, is he?
up. Try to get in the punching range.
They're talking to each other.
Or maybe submission on a leg here.
I think they're talking shit to each other, are they?
I think he's going for the leg.
There
Oh.
it is.
Straight foot lock.
The leg.
Marco Ruas going for the straight foot lock. He's sat in. I don't know if I'd do that with a big, heavy guy, but anyway, he feels confident.
A very effective tactic.
Ruas knocking him away with the left hand. He's got the left wrist.
It's funny because this guy looks, Ruas looks so much like my brother-in-law. It's not funny. So you really want to stand up into this straight foot lock. You don't want him to extend that leg. So
Look at how
Pardu is using this hand because if this wrist basically meets over here, Ruas is trying to join this hand, which is I think overhooked, and with this wrist, and then create pressure on his Achilles. And so the way to defend that is that Pardu is trying to control this wrist so he can't make space, and then grab that wrist and then put that straight foot lock on. It's another one, the technique they're really hard to hit. If you get everything right, it's nuclear, but you got nothing if everything's not set up properly.
composed they are. They're willing to wait. They're willing to feel it out.
By far the best match of the night. Most evenly matched.
Ruas
Okay.
grabs the gi again.
Here comes, he's going for a heel hook.
Oh, he's got the ankle.
He's starting to get it.
He's getting it.
And Pardu fights his way back.
Well, his only choice is to crowd up like he's doing it. He needs to get close to Ruas. He can't
Exactly.
sit back like that if he gets his ankle.
He was trying to switch to a heel hook a second ago. Ruas.
Over 8 minutes in.
I think they both respect each other, but you know, you can feel there's a bit of respect here between these guys.
If he turned to his belly, he could really get great extension.
It's Ruas, the Brazilian, against Pardu.
Getting near the fence.
The Dutchman who trained in Brazil.
You know, what I think needs to happen from here is he needs to do some
Still
striking.
trying to hit that
There's
straight foot lock.
There's an open thigh there, and he can be punching that and doing some damage to Ruas. If nothing else distracts him, get his attention off that ankle. It's working.
Pardu looks amazingly composed.
They're
and
both composed.
full of vinegar. He does not look winded. Ruas looks like
They're
he's
both
using
concentrating.
more energy.
Oh, he's trying to put it on. Okay, gives it up. Now we're back in the guard, open guard. Bit of hand fighting there, trying to get dominant wrist
Great fight. Great fight.
control. Okay, he's grabbing his outside of his sleeves.
Tactic and discipline. We're seeing all of it right here.
Come on, let's work. Let's go.
There is a 20-minute time limit in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. If for some reason this ended in a draw, both fighters would not advance. An alternate would be summoned to take on Paul Varelans in the championship of UFC 7. Still a long way from there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a hustle. He's pretending to grab his grips on his lapels, Ruas, and then he's just throwing the strike.
I'll tell you what, Pardue trying to get his head out of the way, hit the mat with a lot
Pardue's
of
controlling the posture.
He got hit twice.
I'll tell you what, this is what Pardue should be doing. He needs to
Of
keep
Marco
Ruas
Ruas.
close so he can't strike.
Ruas like a man stalking prey.
They're both so patient.
Measuring his opponent.
This is a good match, you know. Good to see these early guys.
Patiently working.
Both of them are. Neither one wants to
So
make a
relaxed.
mistake and give it away. They're both that talented. What an even match.
They're just staring at each other. It's a matter of choosing what technique is going to give you the most dividends. There's a few things you could do, right?
I'm very impressed with the way Ruas has been using the gi to his advantage. He grabs the legs, he grabs the sleeves, he grabs the...
Yeah, see now he's got his
every
grips.
portion of the gi he uses as a grip. You see him grabbing the legs.
He's got grips set up.
Pants, you see that?
Definitely knows the gi.
Controlling him with his gi.
That's interesting because Royce Gracie uses his own gi as an offensive tooltip.
Certainly he does, both in terms of grip to keep a person near him and also as a weapon for a choke.
11 minutes plus in.
I would just stand up again.
20-minute time limit.
But maybe he doesn't trust that he can get past. It's too hard to get past him. He's trying to pass now. Ruas has got his... Sorry, underpass maybe?
What is Ruas looking for here?
Probably to try to beat a leg.
There we
Just
go.
like
He's trying to
that,
pass.
turn the corner,
Easy pass.
now come close into the net.
Right, this is where the difference is. Judo versus jiu-jitsu.
Now let's see what he can do
Now we're in
with that.
jiu-jitsu
It's
world.
interesting. A lot of these fighters cross their leg when they're in the bottom position.
Now, Pardue's trying to stop him advancing. He's grabbing his own gi. He's trying to lock up this arm. Maybe it's a straight arm attack he can get there. But this is a bit of a disaster for him. The other thing, too, is that this... I don't know why he's crossing this leg here. Obviously, maybe to keep these kicks up. But usually when you put your leg there, you're trying to block the guy from coming around. So it's a bit too late for that. I don't think Ruas is going to feel any strikes to the midsection from his knees, really.
A knee landed by Ruas, another knee.
On the other hand, Ruas is dispensing his own knees.
Well, there's not enough on that to get a submission. Keep working, let's go. I think it takes more energy than it's worth.
He's looking for something. He's reaching inside the gi of Pardue.
Yeah, Remco's going to try and sweep him. He's trying to lift him over. He's trying to time
Unless
it.
that hand got caught in there, and Pardue wants to keep it in there by holding that gi collar up. So Marcos
I spent a lot of time on my back, so I kind of know.
12 minutes in. Marco Ruas on the top. Remco.
One of my favorite sweeps of all time, right, is that it's a sneaky one. Not many people use it, but this is actually good for him if you can time it. But Ruas is too high level. You want to just get this elbow inside. You want to try and get your wrist on the guy's hip, so you sneak your elbow inside. And then once they overcommit their weight, then you want to bridge, so buck them, and then push the hips up, and the guy will roll over, and then you'll end up on top. Sometimes people can counter this with a Von Flue choke, which means that their shoulder goes into your carotid and then you pass out. I've never had that, touch wood. But if you're feeling confident, it just means you have to wrap over this head to block them from being able to escape and then elevate the hip. But I don't know if he's going to do anything like that.
Pardue with the gi on the bottom.
working.
Ruas is sweating profusely.
Keep working. We got 8 minutes left. Let's go, gentlemen.
8 minutes left.
To you, Pardue is sweating too. We just can't see it.
He goes, I can feel full mount coming on from Ruas. See, he's creeping that leg over. Full mount.
There it is.
Tapped.
I don't know if he just physically wore down. Was there a choke, guys?
I didn't see it.
I didn't.
Now that's what Clint Eastwood said is, man, he's got to know his limitations, right? Pardue knew once this guy was on top of him, he neutralized all his judo. He couldn't throw anymore. He could strike a bit, but he knew, that's why he held his head for so long, because he knew that over time, if he got past him to full mount, that he's just going to get punched in the face and get damaged, and he probably has to fly home, and he doesn't want to do that with a broken nose. So he's like, you got me. And I think that he saved everyone's time by doing that. So there's no shame in that.
Not see a choke.
There was no choke.
Good job.
12:27 the time,
Good job.
and this
Good
one
job.
ends
Good job.
rather strangely.
The only thing I can think there is that he was in a position to absorb blows and he decided not to take them.
Oh, yes.
That could have been it, but
Let's go up to Michael Buffer for the announcement.
Corporation.
So I'm going to move on now because we've got a beauty here, right? It's Ken Shamrock versus Oleg Taktarov. What a combination.
McCarthy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Can we get some specs?
New York, are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first to my left, from Gorky, Russia, fighting out of Dallas, Texas. He holds a 4th degree black belt in the art of jiu-jitsu. He's a 4-time European and Asian jiu-jitsu champion.
This guy's no
the Russian
joke.
national judo champion, world sambo champion, and
Jesus.
he is the reigning ultimate fighting champion, 6 feet tall, 215 pounds, the Russian Bear, Oleg Taktarov.
So it's the winner of UFC 6, which I haven't done yet. But he went on to work in Hollywood. He's done a few action movies. And we know who Ken Shamrock is, of course, Hoist Gracie. Have not seen this fight for a long time. But if you look at the credentials of Taktarov, this guy just loves to bleed. But that's all I can tell you.
And his opponent across the octagon, representing the art of shoot fighting, from Lockford, California, he's the Pancrase Association World Champion, 31 years old, 6 feet tall, 215 pounds.
Bad attitude.
Ladies and
Look
gentlemen,
at Shamrock.
presenting the defending UFC Super Fight Champion, the master of the octagon, he is
Super Fight.
Shamrock.
God, he's got a lot more mass there too, Shamrock. Let's see how long this lasts.
A 30-minute time limit with a 5-minute overtime. 50,000 to the winner, 25,000 to the loser, 30,000 if it's a draw for.
So 50 grand if you win, 25 if you lose, 30 if it's a draw. This is pretty good money for 1995. Double that now. It's significant dollars, right? So
Shamrock 31, Taktarov 27.
everything's identical.
The weight the same, the height
They're like
equal.
the mirrors
Just
of each
a
other,
matter of
Russian and
technique
US.
Who is on tonight?
Shamrock's a little bit older.
All right, it's for the best of the best. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let's go.
Get it on!
Super fight underway. Shamrock
Shamrock
and
looks
Taktarov.
pretty juiced
Shamrock
up.
said early on in the interview that he was going to use his jab, he's going to use some punching before he got into the grappling. Let's see if he sticks to his game plan.
No gloves.
Neither one really wanting to close the distance. Ooh, a little left hand there by Shamrock. No damage, just an attention getter.
Funny how bare knuckles back now.
Together in the past, now they're doing it
So
for
many more
real
consequences.
in the octagon.
Seems as though Taktarov's trying a little bit of foot sweep action there, both inside and outside. Short kicks, low to the ankle.
Taktarov's looking at the center of mass. You look at me, he's always looking at the center of mass. He's not looking at, so Shamrock's looking him in the face. And Taktarov here is looking at center of mass. Because I think the theory is that if you're looking at the center of mass, if you're looking at someone's face, they think you're going to hit me in the face. Whereas if you're looking at the center of mass, then apparently the person doesn't know where you're going to hit them. It's more distracting, keeps them guessing.
Feeling out process.
Grabs it, pulls guard into butterfly,
Shamrock goes to the
full
top.
guard.
They're in the guard. Taktarov got the legs wrapped now. Now it's going to be a slow attrition battle. This might end up with John breaking it and bringing them back to their feet. It'll be a matter of how much Shamrock tries to do in here.
Well, we know Oleg wanted this. He wanted to get on the ground. He didn't want to stay up and punch and kick.
Shamrock punching to the kidney. And Taktarov
Back of the spine.
does the ground, punching
They're
to the
nasty.
back of the head. This time of Shamrock.
That's just nasty,
Can you use a thumb and
Knuckles
throat
to the back of
down?
the
Is that
head.
an effective way to choke?
like to the
No,
spine.
I don't think so. I really, with your arms in the position that his are, with the condition.
It's funny because that would hurt because he's using like the point of the fist, like the point here of the knuckle, and he's not hitting his skull. He's hitting this soft tissue at the back of the spine, which over time would, I reckon that'd be terrible.
That Shamrock's got, I don't think it's gonna do much except get his attention. I don't think it's gonna get him to.
No, I think it'll add up over time. That'd hurt. Headbutt.
With a headbutt. It was kind of to the side, wasn't straight above his head.
You gotta be very careful with a headbutt. You could end up cutting yourself just as easily.
Absolutely. 2 minutes in.
Keep working. Come on.
What's
keep
Taktarov
working.
doing? He's grabbing. He's actually grabbing. Is he pinching?
In the guard.
It's like he's
Without
pinching the
doubt,
back of his
This is a waiting
head.
game now. Shamrock knows after his fight with Gracie how to neutralize the guard. It's just that Taktarov knows the guard is a defensive position. He's going to wait. He has done a little bit of punching to the back of the head, what they call rabbit punching, but I don't really think that's going to have much effect against Shamrock.
Shamrock landed a decent right hand
With a
to
headbutt.
the face of Taktarov.
They're not rabbit punches, you know, when you look at it. That's a definite tactic to stiffen up the back of his neck.
Another headbutt by
Shamrock's just fucking mean. He was really mean back in the day.
Shamrock's going to have to be the aggressor here because he knows Taktarov would prefer to just wait and find his spot.
Well, does that mean Taktarov is fighting, or does that mean Taktarov wants to lay there?
I don't know.
A couple real good rib shots there by Shamrock.
Yeah, going to the body. Attrition
Headbutt by
war.
Shamrock. Again, it's to the side.
It's the cheek. He's catching Oleg right there on that right cheek.
And remember, Oleg opened up a cut over his
Yeah, I think Taktarov just doesn't want to break his knuckles on Shamrock's head.
It's above his left eye, and that was one of the things people worried about. If Oleg got cut, it doesn't matter.
The other thing with the headbutts is that, and it's a wrestling technique too, is that you're driving the crown of your head into someone's, especially under there. When you're standing up, you're like driving the crown of your head under their jaw, or you're using here in this case, the side of your head to push his head to the side, because your head, basically your body tends to want to follow your head, and it's hard to kind of execute anything else when you're being twisted.
No matter how tough you are, a doctor
Not
can
to full
stop the
effect
fight.
anyway.
Again, punches to the kidney by Shamrock. And
Headbutt,
punches to the back of the head.
more
by
soft tissue
Taktarov.
action.
I'll tell you what, that's going to hurt his hand. I mean, you're punching a real tough area of the head.
I know, that's the thing. He's trying to not hurt his hand.
Come on, Oleg, let's go. Come on, Oleg, let's work.
I've broken my hands with gloves on 10 times. I can tell you that the skull is more than a match for the hand.
Again, the
Exactly.
headbutt by Shamrock to the cheek. Crowd getting restless. It doesn't take
Come on,
much
Cam, let's work.
for these Buffalo fans to ask for action.
You know, there is a lot of action going on out there.
Taktarov doesn't look worried.
All
He's
these little
could do this all
punches,
day.
rabbit punches, they're kind of getting into a rhythm in which is setting up their opponent to try to go to something else. Once you create a routine, it's easy to fall into it, and then all of a sudden you could change tactic, maybe surprise the opponent and really catch him.
Right, it's kind of a softening up process.
And I think Shamrock on purpose is heading gradually over towards the fence, so
Shamrock
then
is
he can
very
just trap
comfortable here.
Taktarov
Taking
there.
those shots to the ribs.
Getting a bit of leverage on those.
Shamrock landing with the
It's
right hand.
I hit you, you hit me.
Doing good.
I always wondered, a knee right to the tailbone. What would a knee to the tailbone do?
Well, it wouldn't do anything good, but from the position his legs are outside, he can't
Right.
get to that tailbone right now.
Taktarov, I think, might have been trying to reach to get an underhook on
This
that
is
leg
the way
there,
Taktarov started against David Tank Abbott.
but he's worried about the
Seemed as though
pass.
Taktarov wanted to circle his body towards the middle of the octagon, like he didn't want to get pinned up.
Like
against
now, in kind of modern jiu-jitsu, because it's just waiting there, right? You would try and get your head over this side, use your left arm Right arm, push his head away. Maintain the guard, but an open guard. Underhook that leg. Get yourself a K guard, so he can't really hit you because you'll be facing behind him. Elevate this knee onto your chest. And then in this case, you would use your outside leg to push under their armpit, push them forward, and then you're going to the back, or at least changing this position up in a safe way where they're behind you. And if you can just push Shamrock to the other side, but Shamrock's sitting this side, and you could do the whole thing in reverse on this side, which depends what your dominant side is. But for me, I'd always want to get on this side of the skull, push them away, underhook that leg, and send everything that way. But we're sort of stuck in this position.
Defense.
Shamrock trying to free that right hand.
That's great awareness, knowing where you are in the octagon, not wanting to get pushed up against the chain link fence, maybe give Shamrock a bit more leverage. Seems Kenny now starting to create some distance here, maybe look for an opportunity.
And you saw Taktarov reach for the ankle. He has said several times that he could have broken a limb of Shamrock's in the gym when they trained together. He was hoping to exploit that tonight. We'll see.
Trying to elevate.
That elevator position. One leg is underneath.
He's got one leg under.
He's
trying to butterfly him and sweep him.
And turn Shamrock over to his back.
Oh, now hammer fist to the back of the skull.
He had a big right hand against Gracie. And there's
Taktarov's trying to spin around, but
that is a wide open shot anywhere near the tailbone, the crotch, even the leg.
fuck him up. Yeah, I think that was what the statement was.
Well, I think what Shamrock needs to do is get a little clearer from Oleg and just surprise him, come in very quick with that head.
Another hammer fist. It's like the Russian sickle, the Russian hammer, smashing him in the back of the head.
I mean, it's going to do nothing but irritate him and over a period of time cause damage. If he wants to get a good shot, it takes distance. That's one thing you know as a striker. You can get yourself.
Taktarov's pretty young here, you know. He always looks like 40 to me, but he's actually young here. 26 or something.
An open hand to the ear, Don. Maybe, you know, pop an eardrum, that kind of a thing.
Now his head's stuck, right? He's got to move, yeah. Grab the cage. He's trying to rotate, but Shamrock just wants to keep him square, like at right angles to the fence. Because then he can't move his head.
There it is. That's the kind of sneak technique I think he needs to do. More of get back, get away, and then come in with something.
Some people may wonder, well, why doesn't he just throw punches? It's because when he starts to really get the leverage and pull that arm back to throw it, Taktarov feels
he's passed.
Right, he could actually possibly reverse on him.
Now we're in half guard.
Back too far.
Exactly.
So Taktarov using the fence as leverage, and now Shamrock trying to
Taktarov got it back.
Taktarov again peppering
I reckon
away
Shamrock's going to have a headache tomorrow because this,
head.
at the back of your head's going to be in pain. How long is this going to go for?
And it's still
This could go for a long time.
on the mat. Shamrock on top. 8 minutes into the super fight.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to go the full half hour. Oh, big right hand by Shamrock over the top.
Good shot.
Another one.
That's what he needs to do.
Chopping right.
Shamrock seems happy to stay here because he could just stand up.
The soft tissue of the face around the eyes, the nose. If he pops the nose,
He could just stand up out of this guard if he wanted to.
The other threat is a cut. He has been cut before.
Out, another headbutt.
Headbutt Shamrock. Delivered closer to the eye. Right around the eyebrow.
He's trying a pressure point. I don't really.
Oh, okay, he went the other side.
I'll tell you though, Oleg's got that square face.
Another one.
He seems so tough. It's almost as though these shots really are having an effect on him. You've got two very well-conditioned athletes, very tough athletes in the mental sense, and then of course great tacticians.
And you also have Taktarov in a position where he's best on his back.
I know a lot of people don't like this kind of action these days, but you know,
Come on, let's get it going.
they're being patient.
McCarthy telling the fighters to get it going.
Okay, he's going to the body.
Good solid
Good
body
shot.
blow.
That was a good shot.
You could almost hear the
Oh, I see Taktarov tried to underhook the arm. I think he's got to push the head away. Sorry, underhook the leg.
Right hand by Shamrock, and he's doubling up on it.
Now he's got hand slaps, open palm strikes.
Triple up with that punch. Usually right
He's-
hand by Shamrock.
He's not. He hasn't tried to hit him in the face yet. He's all done the back of the head.
And he's been hitting it for 10 minutes now. With his palm, he's hit it with his fist.
Well, he's changed it to the palm. It seems as though he's not going to hit it with the knuckles anymore.
Well,
Yeah,
that could
palm
be injury
strikes
right
now.
And we heard you yesterday, John, the
Because there's regulations now. You can't hit to the back of the head, and a lot of the stuff that's happened in Australia with people being cowed punched, where they've been hit in the street and then they just fall straight backwards, and it just basically caves the back of your head in, and that's how you kill people. So it's a vulnerable area, the back of the head. So as much as Shamrock's being brutal with his headbutts, the response from Taktarov is also take no prisoners.
Use that palm. I use that palm so often.
It might not look like it,
We use in martial
but it'll add up.
arts to break bricks, boards, everything else. I mean, it only makes sense that you'd rather use that than the knuckles of your fist against the head.
Those are big, solid right hand bombs.
That's what I
So he
mean.
went to the
See,
body
almost
to
stuck
try
it
and
right to the jaw
scam
there.
him. Bit of a
And
hustle.
goes to the body,
So he'd protect the body.
then go to the jaw. It's
Yeah.
a standard practice for a striker. If you want to hit the head, hit the body first. Get the attention there, then you sneak one in.
Solar plexus, There's the shot to the head. Good call.
He's just spanking his
Bob Shamrock. Kenny
multiple
Shamrock.
strikes. I think Taktarov's getting impatient now. He's like, come on, let's make something happen.
Actually wearing it. He'll never throw that in if he...
Maybe he's trying to get Shamrock emotional by just
Kenny's
annoying
in
the
a
shit out of
very,
him.
very dangerous position.
I used to always joke when I fought that don't bring a towel, bring a shovel. I can't fight barehanded.
Bob Shamrock opened up the Home for Boys way back in 1968. Since that day, he's had over 800 sons come into the Carl Foster.
Well, let's make something happen.
Safe haven in the Shamrock's home in 1977. Ken, a troubled 13-year-old, was adopted.
Sounds like the audience is getting restless, like there's stomping going on in the background.
Under the roof of Bob Shamrock.
And the one cardinal rule Shamrock doesn't want to do, and I'm sure he won't do it, is reach back and try to throw one of Taktarov's legs by him, thinking that he can get out of this guard position, maybe improve it.
Smacks
If you
there.
Take your arm back and throw one leg by, you leave your other one behind to be submitted. Sometimes Taktarov will bring one leg all the way up close to Shamrock's shoulder, and it's almost as though he's baiting him just to hook it. And when he does that, that leaves his trailing arm in a very
Another
vulnerable
headbutt.
position.
Ken Shamrock up top.
Part of me is tempted just to scroll through this, but I'm staying strong.
Fight continues. Taktarov chopping away at the head again with the palm.
They've been in this position for 10 minutes. It could go for 30, you know.
And Shamrock content to play the position from above.
Love to ask one of these fighters right now.
He must have headbutted him about 30 times now.
Except in this guard position, Taktarov really.
It's funny, there's a mutual respect because neither wants to change
No
position.
blood on the canvas.
You know why? I just realized.
Follow it.
Sorry, because I shouldn't be so casual about it, you know, because I've done a lot of gi competition. I've done one pro MMA fight, and I've done a lot of gi fights, no gi. At the end of the day, you get a medal, right? But these guys, someone's going to win 50 grand, so that's why they're taking their time.
Half minutes in, and the crowd gets restless again as Shamrock nails a right hand to the face of Taktarov.
He needs to get that distance for a good strike. But you know, he's gotten far enough to land a good, solid elbow if he would just use one.
I wonder if he thinks if he misses and drops to the side of Taktarov's head, if that's enough momentum going sideways, that Taktarov might be able to reverse position.
Got a feeling this one's going to go the distance.
Certainly in this position, you're not going to see any big blows. None of them has to make a mistake.
Well, the big rule for a puncher is get your body behind a punch, and you can't from this ground position.
And Don, are you less likely to get a good, clean...
Taktarov keeps going for that sweep, but
you can't take the chance
Shamrock's onto it.
defensively of exposing yourself.
Well, absolutely. If you back up too much, he's going to get away from you. But you have to back up a little bit to get some distance to throw a punch. So you're in a catch-22. I see blood coming from Oleg at this point.
It looks as though on his left eye, side of his eye.
That's where the punishment was before in UFC 5.
There it is.
oh, he's opened him up.
There it is. And that is the area where Oleg suffered a cut in UFC 5.
And you got to believe that as soon as Shamrock sees that blood,
He'll go for it.
he's going to take his head, move it to the other side, and start those little headbutts.
That's when it gets hard to see.
I'm telling you, I think these guys got an earpiece. They're listening.
Maybe
to
that was
it.
tactical on Shamrock's. He knew where the
It's
scar
the
tissue
same-
was.
it's the same tactic he used against
Now he's
Gracie.
rubbing into his
Gracie
face
gave
with the
him a
crown of
mouse,
his head.
put that mouse into a
Ooh,
watermelon.
that was mean.
By the end of the fight, even though it became a draw, it looked as though Gracie had lost.
Another headbutt by Shamrock in there. Right hand to the
Now he's
head
trying to
of
control his
Oliver
posture
Tactaro.
with a gable
Again,
grip.
Shamrock.
One hand
Conditioning
over.
now will become a factor. They've gone long enough, and Johnson
Stood it up.
break it, bring him up.
John
Finally,
McCarthy
fair enough.
separates the fighters
McCarthy's very
to
patient.
the 15-minute mark.
Get ready to go.
And I would think Tatarov's got to be careful
All
right
right,
at the
stand
beginning
up.
of this.
You
Right,
ready
he
to
looks
go?
more,
Get it going.
There's a huge welt on the
Get
right
up
side
there.
of
Get back.
Tatarov's face.
Get
He looks
back.
quite a bit
Oh, there's
worse
a
for the
huge
wear and
welt.
tear.
There's a huge welt.
You ready? Well, let's get it on. Come
Here
on.
they go again. Back on their feet.
See, the striking pays off.
Shamrock and Tatarov.
Either side of the face now of Tatarov is very vulnerable.
Headlock.
Oh, a punch right there on the release would have been beautiful.
Yeah, Shamrock looks in a better shape, that's for sure.
You know,
Come
Kent's
on,
not a
Joe,
great
let's go,
puncher
let's
because
go.
he could be throwing some stiff jabs right now and really opening those cuts up.
Shoots again. Okay, now we reverse the position. Oh no, sorry. They look so much the same.
This is where Tatarov wants to be, especially now. He knows he's vulnerable. It's not a question of whether he feels pain or whether he wants to get up.
Wow, there's the huge welt,
Come on,
as you
let's
said, on
work
the
on
right
it.
side
Get him up
of
there, let's go.
Tatarov's
Come on,
face,
kid.
close to the eye, and he's got the bleed.
We're just pausing here for a second. Well, hi there, I'm back. This fight went on so long. It's actually the next day. You might have noticed the change in clothes. But I'll continue on now. Did have a little break there.
From the left eye. Either way, he's going to be a bloody mess at the end of this night.
But it is essentially the same fight, but I wanted to show you the whole thing. It's the same position.
One thing
They've
we
just
said
gone back
about
to it.
Tatarov, he has an incredible threshold of pain.
That's Brave Browser knocking out commercials on
He's smart enough to keep
YouTube.
Kent as close to him as possible when he's in this position. Come on! Keep
Just on that, if you want to get a... This is not sponsored in any way, this video, but if you want a browser that's going to get rid of those annoying commercials, especially on, YouTube, then just get Brave. Download that, and it's secure, and it gets rid of the commercials. So you don't have to pay for YouTube Premium.
her from getting that distance to throw the punches.
I've read in many books, and Don, I'm sure you've heard it.
So, look, it does look the same. If you just tuned into this and you just started watching MMA and you're like, this is boring. These two men are just cuddling on the ground. There's a lot of things going on. There's the battle for position, inside hand position, battle for balance. But essentially, Shamrock's kept him where he really wants him. He feels comfortable here. Taktarov's just always having to defend. And as I said earlier, there's a lot of money at stake.
The martial arts world, it's
No one really
always
wants to give up
that-
and do anything risky.
That vital strike where you can hit the person, but it doesn't show up for a while later. Is this possible from this position, or is that just folklore?
I think that's kind of a movie
Morning
magic,
coffee,
we'll
folks.
call it. I don't think there is any soft spot that you can hit that will work.
Big mouse on either side of Taktarov's skull near the eyeballs.
That blood will start sneaking into the left eye of Taktarov, and if it does, his vision will become impaired. Shamrock with a
Yeah, if you have a cut above the eye, eyelid, not good. Body
Those
shots.
are going to take the wind and the endurance out of Olin.
All body shots.
And those punches will last with you for the whole night. It's the accumulation in the stomach.
Come on, let's work.
Eventually you lose your
McCarthy's
air.
getting bored. He's like, come on,
Body
boys.
shots have the effect of just
Another
basically
headbutt.
taking all your endurance and conditioning right away from you.
The great boxing trainers will tell you if you keep working the stomach, eventually the guy will...
Oh, big right hand.
Shamrock with a right to the head.
Softened up that body and went right back to the head.
It almost looks like there's a second cut above the first one now.
Taktarov is right now taking a tremendous amount of punishment.
Right, he cannot really launch anything offensive from this
They're
position.
going for nearly 20 minutes like
Unless
this.
Shamrock tries to back out.
I think it's a half-hour time
Only
limit.
a counter position.
Right.
Shamrock exposed that in the Gracie fight.
Shamrock's going for it.
There's
Another
the
headbutt.
headbutts.
Oh, not only that, he's just grinding his head.
Bleeding going.
He's just grinding his forehead into it.
Exactly.
Shamrock with a methodical
Jeff Blackneck
attack.
said it, what I was going to
Nothing
say.
huge, just steady, combative, solid action.
Come on, get it going.
John McCarthy doesn't like it. He wants more action.
Well, you'd like to see something out
That
of there.
Shamrock's hands are
Really,
sore too.
that puts the impetus on Shamrock.
Another big right.
You can see the blood on the knuckles of Shamrock now.
And another one. Back of the skull.
And you notice Taktarov has not struck Shamrock in the back of the head in quite some time. You wonder if either his arms are tired or if his knuckles are sore or maybe potentially broken.
What is Shamrock working for there, Jeff?
He's looking for the right hand again.
Here you go.
He's trying to load up that right hand and give it a shot. There's a good shot to the neck. Look at that.
Let's go.
He could really bring one around. Just there you go.
I really feel when he rears back like that and gets that much distance, if he snuck in a tight elbow, forearm into the face, it would do more damage than just the knuckles of his fist. He's just
I wouldn't blame McCarthy for standing him up again. It's just going to be slow attrition. But look, Taktarov's sort of
He's
not
got room again. He's going to come in with that right. There it
too
is.
stressed. It's just the same thing over and over
Shamrock
again.
loads up on the right. There's the headbutt. It's like a 1-2. Right.
But, you know, more modern jiu-jitsu now, like, if you wanted to be in the UFC, Dana White would go, oh, this is a boring fight, you know, he's probably not going to offer you a contract. But in the modern fight game, you're going to, and I mean, even my fight that I had, one pro fight, I kind of did the same thing. I defaulted to this position for a while. I was just tired, but you want to get those heels. Taktarov could have done this earlier. Get those heels on Shamrock's hips and then elevate and push him away and then stand up, you know, technical stand up back into striking mode. But then you've got to deal with Shamrock trying to take you down again. Shamrock's got to be tired, so you just got to be able to sprawl, defend those shoots.
Right hand headbutt. Right hand headbutt.
It's the combination of different body parts we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Smart tactic.
And right now, if he's going to go back to this body, I think, because he needs to get Taktarov to release this lock on him if he's going to do any more punching to the head.
Oh, that was a good one.
Hand by Shamrock.
Good shot. And that got the release.
And he's talking to Taktarov now. And
What's he
Oleg
saying?
does not look good as the blood continues to stream.
Oleg is so tough. You have to give him so much credit.
Back of the head.
Let's keep it going.
He's taking such pounding.
He's taking a beating
Ali used to
by
have the
now.
habit of talking to opponents, and it psychologically demoralized them.
Bob Shamrock looking on.
Look for Taktarov here. He looks like he has double overhooks. This is a wrestling position. He might be able to reverse Shamrock if Shamrock's momentum and center of gravity move too close to Taktarov's head.
Yep, stands it up. Thank God.
Again, up on their feet. Shamrock has some swelling a little bit on the left side of his face, close to the eye.
Probably
This is
self-inflicted.
the second reset. It's at the 20-20 mark.
Probably inflicted that from his own
From the
headbutts.
looks of him, I think fatigue-wise, Shamrock has the advantage. He's not quite as tired as Oleg.
Second reset.
Let's keep it standing, boys. Let's go.
As bloody as Taktarov looks, he's
Hip throw.
still
Let's see the judo from
tremendously
Taktarov.
conditioned.
He's got a few judo titles they talked about. But looks like Shamrock's
First time
onto
I've
it.
seen Shamrock,
He's separating the
breathe a
hips.
little bit.
Okay, he survived that takedown.
See some punching here.
Well, he
that's
survived
what
the clinch,
Shamrock would
right?
like to do.
Shamrock's got a lot of muscle mass to feed.
Shamrock's body covered by his own sweat. Taktarov's face covered by his own blood.
Boy, I can't believe Shamrock's not trying to press this. There's
That was a
good
bit
left
weak.
hand. You're right, Doc. Some
That's
jabs
fatigue.
here would do tremendous damage to an already swollen
Did Taktarov switch stance? Oh, he's on the back. Oh, nice Granby roll by Taktarov.
Not in the guard yet. He's not in the guard. He's
Don't
close
see
to it.
that. So that's
Doesn't have both legs outside.
that's experience
He's in
there.
a position where, he's really in a bad position. If Shamrock, he could get rolled. You see him posting.
I love that roll. That was the most exciting thing that's happened in the fight.
Taktarov, so he'll try and roll him. It's in that
Elevating.
elevator position that
No,
Taktarov
now he's going back to full guard.
He's back to,
Taktarov really wants to be here. I don't know why he would defer to that. He just can't roll
Clearly, the offensive
Shamrock.
power has been demonstrated by Shamrock. Defensively, Taktarov's done a good job to keep himself in it.
Taktarov had a little bit of a chance there, though, Jeff, didn't he? Or was it the fact he didn't have enough power?
It was Shamrock kept his weight over his knees. He didn't
Exactly.
lean forward. If he had leaned forward, he could have been rolled. Shamrock's wrestling ability there kept him in it. Didn't allow him to
I'd
make
still
that
be
crucial
rolling under
mistake.
like a K
22
guard.
minutes into the super fight. Bruce Beck, Jeff Blatnick, Don the Dragon Wilson with you from the Octagon in Buffalo, New York. Oleg Taktarov and Ken Shamrock. Shamrock has been in that same position with Taktarov in the guard.
Do we have another
throughout
8 minutes of this?
this super fight. There have been 2 resets, and at 30 minutes, there will be a 5-minute overtime.
Yep.
Shamrock not landing those right hands as well as he did earlier.
That's because his right arm is underneath.
If you're still watching this, then you are
Oleg is
genuinely
doing a much better job now.
fan of
Instead
technical
thinking
jiu-jitsu.
offense, he's purely
because a
working
lot of
the
people
guard.
probably would have
All
put
he's
it
going
up.
to do is try not to get hurt. That's the first offensive punch we've seen Taktarov throw in a while.
And Shamrock
I remember that series on As It Flow Grappling Who's Number One, and they sort of went back to this no time limit rule set, and then what happened was that the one with Isaac, who was formerly with B Team, who eventually won, Isaac Mitchell, that fight went on for so long that they actually moved them like to another mat. So they could get on with the rest of the event. And maybe, you know, I mean, you can't have 2 UFC cages, but they should have had a rule there where if it goes for X amount of time, you can shift it to another mat, another dimension. I don't know. It's probably a bad idea.
answered with his own right. And another. And a short left.
That's a terrible idea. I
The
just
way
came up with
Shamrock kind of,
because no one will be able to watch it. They'd all be watching the next event. Anyway, this is a super fight before the main fight of UFC 7. I think they thought that this would act like go a bit shorter or more definitively.
Comes a headbutt. Oh,
Quicker.
this could be a good chance for a headbutt. Oh, sneak right hand again.
There it is.
Taktarov's blood around
I mean,
the left eye.
Taktarov's got
The
he's a
right
very
cheek
thick
heavily
man with
swollen.
a solid skull, so that's why he can
There you
withstand
can
this
see why
punishment.
the guard is so effective. With the arms on the outside like that, it's hard for Kenny to get a punch
He's like
in.
a bulldog.
Oh, good rib shot. You can feel that.
Problem is Taktarov needs to do something offensive, and Shamrock needs to do
was
something,
criticized by some who said that he tried for a draw against Gracie.
I don't know, like
That's
more
because
exciting
Gracie
than this.
has
He
such
needs
a
to try and
fan
pass and finish it.
base that they all were expecting. Well, why didn't Shamrock try to beat Gracie there? It's because the guard is basically designed to beat the
Like in the last fight, Marco Huas, you could tell it got boring in the guard for a while, and Marco Huas sort of analysed Remco, and then he just passed his guard. He worked out how to pass his guard, and it was over. And Shamrock's not doing that here. Look, hey, easy for me to judge, and I knew shit about jiu-jitsu back then. But you know, I guess it's purely from the point of view, if this was just a fight in your garage, you wouldn't care, but because you've got audience expectations that are kind of fueling this, that's why the event and the money is there. You don't want to make a mistake. You want to get the money, but also you want to kind of entertain as well. And I don't think audiences necessarily, definitely not modern audience, wouldn't like to see half an hour of this.
top guy if he gets too offensive. The guard is not an offensive weapon. It's that
Purely from
simple.
fighting,
It is a defensive weapon.
you
They can
appreciate
be
it. The
offensive
guy on the
if
bottom's trying to
top man
survive.
makes a mistake.
I think what Ken proved, though, in that fight with Gracie is that Gracie couldn't beat him.
Exactly.
And that's an accomplishment itself.
Come on. Referee here could actually bring them back to their feet.
And the crowd
He's trying for that.
looking
He's trying for a sweep
action.
there, a scissor sweep, I think, but
Almost 25 minutes. There is a 30-minute time limit, a 5-minute overtime, and if nothing is decided, then it will end in a draw.
So we've basically got 10 more minutes of this unless
And I
things
really
improve.
believe at this point that's all Tatarov is trying to do. I mean, that is no criticism. In a survivalist fight, which this is, that's a smart tactic at this point.
Yeah, it could be a pride thing. I want to survive. I don't want to get beaten by this guy. You couldn't finish me. And this is essentially Russia versus United States.
And lose the leverage and make a mistake right now.
Against most fighters, you would think that he would have worn him down already, but Taktarov is so tenacious.
There's that thumb choke to the throat.
Is he looking for? Yeah, that's right. He was trying to set.
Taktarov's attention. Maybe right now is the time.
He was setting Shamrock up for an armbar then.
That's what you got to do. Go from choke to a punch to a headbutt, back to a choke.
Come on, let's work.
Body shot by Shamrock.
Back to working his ribs. He's working the low end. This is setting him up for the high end. There it is.
And if we had punch numbers tonight, it would be about 8 or 9 to 1 in favor of Shamrock. Now back to the headbutt.
More headbutts. Jesus.
Doing a little headbutt, but I'm not sure if that's.
That's a brutal one.
Now, in the position he's in, he can't get his forehead under
Okay,
Shamrock.
Shamrock's sped it up now.
Basically, he'll be
I think he's trying to finish before the half hour, before the
Blood starts to
overtime.
flow again pretty well. It's leaking right up into the hair now. Oh, good left hand.
Shamrock seems to have a lot of energy on the ground. He's still got some sting in those punches.
After his last bout with Tank Abbott, but that was because of the altitude as much as anything else.
Those are good shots to the lower ribs.
Brutal. Taktarov wearing it.
Again, Shamrock chopping away, doubling up on the right hand.
Those are the shots that have gotten Oleg to totally release that head.
Exactly.
And that's what when he sneaks that right in, when he releases the head, he sneaks the right in. So they're definitely hurting.
Good call, Don. That's exactly what he's doing.
Come on, it's a warning. Let's go, Oleg.
See if he'll follow up.
Taktarov's not doing anything. He's just sort of waiting it out.
Up towards Taktarov's head.
Let's go.
Taktarov on his back, where he has been the entire fight.
I think he's just trying to wait out for the overtime to stand up again.
Taktarov. Taktarov is not doing anything to try and win.
And they will stand again.
Wow.
Third reset.
Third one. McCarthy's picked Taktarov up.
Taktarov walks very slowly to his corner. Shamrock moving much more brisky now. Taktarov bloody.
They've closed the distance with one another now. They're getting in a little bit tighter to one another. Taktarov almost.
A lot of fatigue.
Good left
Shamrock
hand.
is so heavy in the upper body. Oh. Inside leg kick to a jab.
That's his big out punch. He used it against Grayson.
Ooh, Taktarov's still fresh. He's coming back. Ken's got his arms down. He's like, fucking come and get me.
And Oleg has told us a number of occasions he likes to punch.
Working good. Let's go.
Well, neither of these guys are great punchers or kickers, but right now at this point, both of them are so softened up. I think they can land
Hip
a good
throw,
shot.
hip throw.
Now they're back to the ground.
Shamrock's separating his hips again. See, he doesn't want to get thrown by Taktarov.
That's Taktarov's
I'd be
blood
trying
on
for Uchimata
Shamrock's
here,
left arm.
but if you don't get it, you're going to end up in a bad position.
Good move by Shamrock. That's a great move by Shamrock because he got out of a wrestling position and he's allowed to strike again. He needs to go for the strikes. Really, that's what he wants.
Now, a bit of spirit there. Taktarov's still got some spirit.
That's not the attitude. It's what are you going to do to him?
Yeah, because time is getting short here.
Shamrock's nose
Taktarov wants
is
to
bloody.
draw.
And that might have been
Shamrock
that
has got
punch
so
that
much upper body mass.
Taktarov threw just a couple moments ago. No real danger in that bloody nose. It just looks a lot worse than it is. Crowd starting to get restless at the 29-minute mark. If they go OT, it will be only 3 minutes, we are told.
Come on, let's go.
Taktarov
Get it
really
going.
seems to be going for a draw here.
Oh, outside leg
Don't
kick.
you kick. Don't kick. Go.
What was that? Don't kick. What was that?
I don't know.
Kicking was legal. Maybe with the shoes on, they're saying he can't do that.
Well, that could be correct.
Oh, I didn't know he couldn't kick in this rule
He's got
set.
shoes.
Because he's got shoes. He's got the wrestling shoes on.
Kick. He's got the bare feet.
Right.
Good jab again. He really
Shamrock's
should be
saying it was a
pumping
knee.
that 1-2, doubling it up.
Come on, you got
Well, they're not strikers. They're not boxers. They're not kickboxers. They're grapplers, really. That's their expertise. But, you know, we had...
Oh, Taktarov's good. Yeah. I think Taktarov's got better striking than Shamrock.
It really hasn't turned out that way.
And Taktarov landed a very good left right to that bloody nose of Shamrock. And Taktarov's almost excited about being on his feet. There's the horn. 30 minutes
Okay.
in. 3-minute OT. 3-minute OT. It will start very quickly.
Great stamina. Great
We're going to have a 3-minute break.
This match has it all.
These guys are going
May
to
not have the
consult.
brutality and quickness
And then we're going to have a
of
5-minute
hard
overtime.
fight. But in terms of
This one was a long one, wasn't it?
science or discipline, both of these athletes are doing a superb job.
And
I don't
in
remember the
terms of
outcome.
Survival.
I just remember seeing it somewhere in the 90s and being amazed. When I was at uni.
Don, you're a defender.
On VHS.
Right now, that's exactly what these two are
Good. Stay
doing.
right there.
Right. Well, you know, it's not that I'm not an offenso either, but defense first, offense second.
You're a
Gotta
counter
fight, you
guy.
understand?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
It's a lot
Let's get
better.
it going.
I thought they were going to be...
At the
Well, I said 3-minute break. Okay, so it's 5-minute
He
overtime.
knows he's only got to go 3 more minutes.
Okay, sorry, it's
What he's
3-minute
gonna watch for
overtime.
Here is a big right from Shamrock.
Now this is going to turn into a brawl.
Pure boxing. Could knock him out.
Taktarov just cut bench.
Shamrock's almost better disengaging and punching.
Is that a shoulder?
Headbutt too. He brought
That was
it
a
right
headbutt.
up. Nice knee.
Knee to the body.
Way to go. Keep it going.
Double underhooks by Shamrock.
This is overtime. If it ends in 3 minutes, we've got a draw.
I am amazed at the stamina these two have.
Okay, so it's a
Here's where
draw.
something could happen. A punch.
Be 30 grand each.
Shamrock tried to land
An
the
uppercut.
He did not score.
Shamrock wants the money.
Tactic, though, catching Taktarov, bending his head down to avoid an overhead.
Taktarov's got to watch the straight right hand. A jab will not knock him down.
Ken needs to keep pumping that jab out there. That's what a boxer will use.
And Taktarov
Pub brawl.
I don't know why
Throw that jab out there and set up the right.
Both these guys are tough, man. A lot of people would have just been done.
Fatigue. Put everything into one shot, hoping to knock him down or open up the cut.
Shamrock probably has the winning formula in that one hand.
You'd have to give it to Shamrock as the overall moral winner. Even though Tarak Taktarov survived, it doesn't seem right that...
He's squinting an awful lot now.
Knee by Shamrock. A minute 20 left.
Definitely Shamrock's the more dominant fighter.
I wonder if Shamrock even...
But maybe Taktarov can do a comeback.
He's having a hard time seeing. If he were to break clean, he'd catch it.
Keep it moving. Come on.
And that's the eye that would be susceptible to a right hand.
Look at it. Look at it. You can see him squinting. He's having a hard time seeing out of it.
That's the cut from earlier that just dribbles into the eye. Shamrock breaks again and lands
that?
right.
He's trying to get out of there. Kenny must be
Taktarov,
tired. He's not
now
pursuing.
you can't see shit.
A minute to go. Crowd getting up again. And Taktarov, smart move for him.
Taktarov retreated. He doesn't want to get hurt.
I think he's going for the draw.
Oh, he definitely is.
He's definitely going for the draw, yeah.
20-minute mark.
30 seconds to go, but it's a bit boring for the crowd.
Shamrock had his biggest
They want to see a
chance
fight.
in
They want to see the
that
blood and
last
someone
minute
win.
with the blood in Taktarov's eye, and both
Ooh,
fighters on their
that
feet.
was brutal.
Headbutt by Shamrock. 20 seconds to go in this super fight in UFC 7.
This is not a point fight. This is a knockout or submission.
You don't really hear about
fight.
UFC 7, probably
And unless Shamrock
because of
can
this
do it
fight.
here, even though we could say
Oh, he's
he
going
was
for a leg
more
lock.
points,
Why didn't he do that an hour ago?
he will not get the victory, and there it is.
A draw in the super fight.
Wow.
Shamrock and Taktarov.
Shamrock
For
seems pissed off.
Taktarov, a moral victory. Shamrock, there's so many punches.
We said it was an even.
I reckon it's more of a moral
We
victory
predicted
for
it.
Shamrock.
Very even.
33 minutes.
Come on.
Taktarov, amazing defensive fighter.
Very good on defense. Did a
We're
great
gonna
job
shake
of
hands.
keeping
Russian
Shamrock
bear.
off of him. Shamrock did a lot of offense. If it was a point contest, Shamrock
Just
would
want to see
win.
they shake hands, and then we're going to go to the final.
You need a knockout or a submission.
So can Shamrock and Oleg Taktarov end up in a draw?
Ladies and gentlemen, the super fight has been declared a draw. Let's hear it.
Boo.
Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, no one submitted. I mean,
Minutes a draw.
Common respect
yeah,
there.
a bit of respect.
Here's where we are in the championship round of UFC 7. Paul Varlins, who's already defeated
Varlins
Jerry
versus Huas.
Harris
Let's just
and
get on with
Mark
it, shall we?
Hall And Marco Huas.
Okay, I got my money. I'm just going to fast forward to this because it went far too long. But I got my money on Huas for some reason. Maybe it's a distant, foggy memory that he won. I can't remember.
The winner
Both
gets
should be
the
pretty fresh.
UFC 7 belt and a trip to the ultimate December 16th in Denver.
This is what you came here
To meet
for.
the
You
likes of
ready?
Taktarov, Abbott,
This is what you came
here for.
Severin,
Let's
and
get it
Beneteau.
on.
Here
Yeah,
we
they just
go.
hurried this straight up.
Finals of UFC 7, and Varlins, as usual, streaks across the octagon.
Yeah, I think Huas is going to stay on the outside.
Kick to the body.
Oh, nice combination.
Yeah, this is exactly what you need to do with Varlins. Stay on the
One after
outside.
the other. And you have to remember, Huas
Is that a big
has some
bruise?
boxing talent.
Calf
Varlins,
kick.
300 pounds, Huas 210.
It's just
Body
like
shots,
too much quickness
calf
for
kicks.
Varlins.
You know, Huas is.
Varlins just reminds me of Biff from Back to the Future. Just that bully vibe about him.
Demonstration there was the best kicking and punching I've seen in the event.
Whereas Huas is Marty McFly. In the final scene. There's huge bruise on Varlins' leg on the
So
left-hand
balanced.
side.
Watch Huas lift that leg. That
On his
takes
left leg.
away any kind of trip Varlins can have.
This guy can generate some power.
I just think Varlins is
Let's
not
go,
gonna have
Marco,
the experience
separate.
to deal with Huas. I mean, he gets him on the ground. I think it's gonna be,
Separate. I think
eventually
Varlins
gonna
is
make a
going to
mistake.
run out of gas. Yeah, leg kicks. Straight punches. Exactly. If you get a bigger opponent, that's what you need to do if they're slow. Outside leg kick. In the thigh. He wants to chop down those legs like a big tree. Varlins
Well, it
is
says that
bleeding.
Huas is a Thai boxer, Muay Thai, and he's demonstrating it now. He's kicking
Yeah.
the front leg.
This
the
is a
thigh,
real
which is
fighter,
Thai
Marco
technique.
Huas.
And you notice now Varlin changed his stance. He's now got that leg back.
Yeah.
You gotta
So
wonder
that's
if that
working,
had an
and
effect.
he's got big legs too,
That
Marco.
thigh is very vulnerable.
Look at how red that thigh is.
Yeah, he's
You can
fucked.
see
He's
that
fucked already.
On your screen,
He's gonna
just
fall like a big oak
above
tree.
Varlin's knee. There's a big area of red. Ooh, left
Okay, now he's slowed him down. He's going for these hooks. They're harder to see, the hook.
David against Goliath.
Boom. No, Varlins came back with a kick. It's like, you kick me, I'll kick you.
His punches are slow. Varlin's punches are
Outside leg kick again. He's just getting that lead leg, he's punishing it. This is an old technique, but it's a sure thing. Why would you shoot now? You must be feeling confident. Oh my God. Marco. Varlins is...
Have it. Do you think Uwas is making
Fucking
Varlin
Varlins
spend
doesn't
a
have
lot
it
of
anymore.
energy
He's
chasing
gassed.
all that effort trying to pick Uwas up. You gotta wonder if he.
Don't think we'll sit here
he's
forever,
gonna
like,
start to
yeah.
Run out of gas here fairly soon.
He's going to run out of
He would
gas.
never let go of that hold if he-
Marco's basically
if he
fresh.
was in condition
He's
to
pretty
hold him,
fresh.
because he had him around the neck.
Here you go, separate. Keep sniping from the outside.
Not a guillotine.
Varlins can't compute the fact that he might be losing. See, Huas is he's game. He's engaging with this dude that's like 6'8", 6'9" or
You
whatever.
gotta wonder now if Varlin's starting to suck gas.
Is he ever? You can see Varlins is
Toe stopping. I love it.
king of the streets. It's when you've been in a fight. You got to be fucking mean. Got to be mean
He's also a big fella at 300.
if you're in a real fight,
That's
like a
right.
street
His
fight.
mouth is wide open. When you see that, you know you're gasping for air. The mouthpiece might fall out any minute. That's a sure sign of exhaustion.
Elbow would do it.
Maintain enough pressure to keep him tied.
He's really smart, Marco Huas. He's such a smart fighter. This is years of
Varlins can only go
experience.
so far.
Exactly.
He's like one of the most underrated fighters, I reckon. That one of the legends, OGs.
Just to let him sit there against the fence. You should move him around, make him have to move.
And he's not a malicious guy either. He's respectful.
The easier it'll be to take him out.
Look at Varlins. He's fucking panicking.
I don't think.
Not against Uwas.
Okay, open hand slap to the skull.
Good knee by Varlins.
Now this is bad for Varlins because Marco's on the side and he basically can execute a bit of a wrestling takedown here.
Uwas trying to sneak around behind.
I don't know he can hip throw him, but he can try and
knows what kind of submission hold he's thinking of.
chuck him forward. Once Valens hits the ground, it's all over. And Valens knows it, that's why he's grabbing the fence.
Get behind his, get an arm around his neck. I don't know what he's.
Why wouldn't Varlins throw a left hand?
Here he goes in the back now. Now it's over. Valens is reaching over the fence.
Now he tries to stop, but much too smart. Jumping on him is Ruas.
Let's go, Marco.
Varlins' elbow has always been his big attribute. Can he get enough leverage to land, though? He's elbowing backwards.
He's missing with the elbows. He's catching
Wrong one of those
the
could catch you.
tricep, not the bone part of the elbow.
Let's go, Marco.
Varlins does not want to go down. If he goes down, he's going to be like a...
He goes down, it's over. That's why he needs to jump on his back. I think that's what he was thinking, but then he realized, I can't, he's too fucking big.
I'm not sure what Ruas went for to get in this position. I mean, unless he's just thinking of taking him down maybe from here.
It's going to be attrition war once again. The only thing that's saving Valens is the fence.
Now he's got both hands on the octagon.
I'd chuck in a little uppercut.
It's holding him up at this point.
Right uppercut, that'll discourage Valens from...
I think so too. If he loses the grip on the octagon, he might be rolled backwards.
Right, he's going to be
But
taken
see,
down if he does.
Marco's being patient, because even if he does lose contact with this position for a second, Valens might spin out of it. He worked hard to get to it.
Ruas trying to wrap the leg around Varlins.
Could sneak a little uppercut in. No, he's punishing him. Punishing the polar bear.
Once again, it's countering of feet.
This is a good fight. Much better than the super fight. Oh, again.
Smashing foot drive by Ruas.
Well, this is a new form of striking here. Foot stomp. It's pretty effective, though.
The ring girls love it.
I'm amazed that I really don't know what Ruas is trying to do. I imagine he's thinking, hey, Varlins will let go of the fence, but he's not.
The crowd is getting up and enjoying it now. Varlins trying to work that left arm.
This won't have much longer to go.
But Ruas won't let go of his gut.
He needs the time. So when Valens does that elbow, he needs to pull him backwards. So he's only got one hand on the fence. There you go. Marco's trying to put his back to the fence now, but still stay in the back of
One
Valens.
arm over, one arm latched in the middle.
I don't know what the prize money is for winning this event. Not long to go now, though.
And Ruas showing patience, just trying to get the big man off of that fence.
Yep. Being very
Well,
patient.
if he gets him off the fence, the next thing is they're going to be on the ground.
I really think Varlins is going to be lost there, Don.
100% he'll be lost.
Ruas knees him to the back.
Valens is desperate.
Not
Look at
much
his
damage,
face.
but nuisance-like.
I mean, this is like a little man with a tiny little axe trying to chop down a redwood.
Well said, Jeff
You know,
Blackney.
you chop down the biggest redwood a little at a time, Jeff.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what
he's
trying
chopping
to
you
do.
down a little bit at a time.
He does only have 20
This is
minutes.
smart. This is someone who's used their skill and their brain to defeat someone that they shouldn't on paper be able to
He
defeat.
doesn't have to move very far. He gets to hang on, keep his balance.
Size means nothing, especially the other person who's not as skilled.
Maintaining your balance becomes so difficult.
And I would say Valens is someone who probably got through life up to this point, just bullying everyone he could. He probably could be a nice guy.
And you can see the elbows just unable to land squarely because of the low center of gravity of Ruas.
Excuse me.
Ruas trying to
Come on.
lunge
It's like,
somebody
come
off
on,
the
you're going to
fence.
school.
And
It's
showing
inevitable.
sheer strength.
Well, Ruas is dealing with a lot of weight on top of that strength. I mean, he's a strong man, but there's a lot of weight being
Trying to
rolled around
separate.
out there.
Marco, you got to grab. I think Marco's got to try and climb up
Is a
again.
reset.
Maybe it's too much risk.
you almost want to think that he wants to jump up on his back and go for a choke.
Exactly.
Throw both legs in around the waist, reach up around that neck, and just go
Think,
wherever Rollins wants to go.
I think that John's going to turn them around.
Marvelous crowd here in Buffalo. They go with what they want, and they can change in a minute.
Get over here. Let go.
They are real fight
Let go,
fans. Now we
separate.
get a reset
Told ya.
From John McCarthy.
I think it's going to be strikes from the outside.
9 minutes, 10 seconds in unofficially. A reset.
You ready? You ready? Let's go. Get it on.
And here they go again.
I think I might have remembered this fight. He was staying on the outside, rotating away from the power hand. Well, he was a second ago.
He gets frustrated. That just compounds fatigue.
This is a chance for Varlins, actually.
Different tactic by Varlin. Hands up, looking like a boxer.
But he's
Horse must be pretty tall. He doesn't look that much shorter than Varlins. Outside leg kick.
A counter kick.
Let's go, Marco.
Well, you know what happens is when you've been hurt to the leg, you want to hit the other guy in the leg.
Ooh, calf kick. He kind of blocked it.
How's his technique?
Not good, but
Let's chop that leg
his
down.
attitude's good.
You have to wonder if that was a mistake by Uas, letting Varlins rest against the fence.
Well, I'm not sure he was letting him. I think
Still
he was,
rotating.
Could have let him go and started fighting again.
Look at Varlins.
right. Time-wise, it could
He
have
thinks he's the man again now. He's just hoping for the one big knockout. There he goes. He's going to chop that leg down.
Leg kick.
You can see the bruises on his leg. He's hurt. That thigh, he's not going to be able to walk tomorrow on that leg.
Heavily bruised is the left thigh of Varlins. Those are from the
Varlins is
kicks
pissed
by
off.
Uas,
He's like, I'm going to fuck you up.
which are more technique-like, more precise. And I think Varlin's greatest strength is his sheer will.
Was it contact there or was it trip? Outside leg. I think it's not too long now before Varlins is going to drop. He's got to drop soon.
Lift his leg up.
Look at the welts on that leg.
Well, I've been there myself a few times. All he needs to do is lift that left leg up when the kick, just
Like
like
that.
that. That's all. There it is, right there.
But it's not
That's the
enough.
block.
It's too late.
He won't get hit on that thigh.
Too
if he
much
just does
fatigue.
that.
There it is again.
Nicely done.
Can Marcos now, as
He
lifts
spams that leg
in
with hits.
anticipation of that side kick, go to the other knee and just strike?
Like that sort of
opposing
roundhouse
Why not throw a right hand, Don?
Well, the reason he can't do that, go back to the back
to the
leg,
thigh.
is,
He's suffering. Oh, that's a tattoo. I thought it was a
it's too far away.
bruise.
It's not the same level.
Here he goes. Almost went down. He almost timed it.
Grappling.
So when Varlins lifts that leg up, Marco shoots and elevates the leg and then drives
Interesting
forward.
fight here.
Come on, gentlemen. Let's go. Let's go.
The Japanese might have called him the most complete fighter, but
Again.
Oh boy, that left leg.
Varlins
he
didn't
can't
like that.
stand on it much longer. He really ate a big kick there.
He's got to block
Varlins
him
is in
there.
pain.
He's got to block
Bang.
him.
See Marco?
That's all he has to do. It's very simple.
He's looking him right in the eye.
There it is.
He's looking him in the eye, but he's actually kicking the leg.
Well, now he is, but it's a day late, $1 short. He's taking a lot of punishment on that left leg. There it is again.
Oh, it buckled.
And the
Couple more and he's going
alternative
down.
is to go to the mat where
I
he
said that
knows
before, but I
Uas is most
think we're getting
dangerous.
closer.
That's not a good option.
And again.
Oh my, Uas firing leg kicks at will.
using his
I can
speed and
next
motion
two
to
kicks.
keep Varlins
One,
away.
another one.
This is the most effective leg kicking we have seen in the UFC.
Absolutely.
One more big one.
But as
One
you
more
see, it
big
is
kick will
effective.
do it.
I mean, you can see now that a strike to the thigh does some
Let's go.
damage.
Now he goes
Let's go on the other leg.
And that's not a bad idea because
Yeah,
you
but that's a
won't know which
distraction
way to
because he
turn.
really wants this lead leg. Bang!
Before long, he'll be the leaning tower of Varlins.
Now, the best thing Varlins could do is back up and let Ruas come to him at this point. The reason
I was
he can get
wrong. I
those
thought he
leg
would have
kicks
gone
in
down by now.
easily is he's walking forward.
Thigh, another one to the head. The thigh, sorry.
Varlins needs to sit
Varlins did
back
tag
and
him.
just counter a little bit. Just sit back and let Ruas come to him. Let him make the fight.
Oh, fuck it. That got him.
Shot by Ruas.
That got him. That got him. This leg's fucked.
Back to the leg.
He's dropped him.
Varlins.
Oh, then that thrown in
King of the
I
streets.
can't believe it.
And that's the end. I told you. Brazil. The Brazilians, man, they're tough. Tough as hell. Tough as nails.
Do it all. Punch, kick, and wrestle. And he proved it tonight.
Horse Valley to do. Polar bear, mate. He tried to stay in there, but it just fell over. That was beautiful. That was proof of technique. That's what fighting is. Is that Remco? Oh, no. Well, Remco was over there on Alan's team.
And a celebration.
All right, I think we've gone on long enough. This is a very long second half. The first fight, very long. But yeah, that's UFC 7, The Brawl in Buffalo. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon for another one.